Friends, hope you all are fine and safe. Today, let us start new chapter of political science, that is democracy in independent India and the working of political institution. The Indian constitution included making democracy effective and vibrant, bringing political unity to the country and creating institutions to work for much needed economic and social change. The people of India had to prove to the world that they could maintain the unity and integrity of the country after it gained independence. We shall try to understand the democratic system that was introduced and developed in India after independence from the following events. Now let us discuss about the first general election in 1952. An important challenge before the country was to conduct the first general election according to the new constitution. Although our constitution was adopted in 1950, the first general election was conducted in 1952. Every adult has had a right to vote for the first time. The first task was to prepare the electoral rolls listing the names of all eligible voters in the country. The voters had to be educated about the electoral process and persuaded to visit the polling booths to cast their vote. Around 85% of the population was illiterate. Each candidate had a separate ballot box, so the voter had to drop their votes slip in the box of their preferred candidates. Now let us discuss about some important facts and some interesting incidents of first general election. Some important facts. The system of a universal adult franchise was being used for the first time in the country to give all citizens the opportunity to vote. The government set up polling booths in rural areas to enable people to cast their vote. The elections to the Legislative Assembly of all the states were held simultaneously with the elections to the Lok Sabha. A total of 17 crore voters were registered for the election, 85% of them illiterate. Around 2,24,000 polling booths were set up with one polling booth for around every 1,000 voters. 10 lakh officials were deployed to oversee the polling process. Some interesting incidents. Separate polling booths were set up for women only. Women officials were deployed in their booths. It was compulsory requirement to put the indelible ink mark on every voter's forefinger to show that they had cast their vote. At village, they got two whistlers to represent the two candidates in a whistling match. They decided that all the voters in the village would cast their vote in the favor of the candidate represented by the whistlers who win. On the whole, the first general election was more successful than anyone expected. Around 40% of the voters on the electoral roll cast their votes. Around 40% of the women voters also participated. The Congress party, led by Jawaharlal Nehru, won by the huge majority. Now let us discuss about the dominance of a single party. The Indian National Congress was a dominant party in the first three elections, that is 1952, 1957, 1962. The Congress won over 70% of the seats in the Lok Sabha. The party also formed the government in the majority of states, though other parties could not challenge the dominance of the Congress party. Now let us discuss about the abolition of Jamindari system, 1949 to 1956. The land owning class had different names in different regions: Jamindar, Malguzar, Gautiya, Jagirdar, etc. They collected land taxes from the farmers on the behalf of the government, and they were regarded as owners of the land. They decided how much rent the farmer should pay. They dominated the villagers, getting the villagers to work for them without payment. After independence, the state government abolished the Jamindari system. By 1956, the Jamindari system was abolished across the country. Around 200 lakh peasants' families were benefited, becoming owners of the land. Their living condition definitely improved, but the Jamindari system could not be fully abolished. Now let us discuss, come to the next topic, that is Hindu Code Bill 1952 to 1956. Before the first general election, the Constitution Assembly prepared a Hindu Code Bill to ensure women's right in the Hindu society. Dr. Ambedkar played a leading role in preparation the bill and presenting it to the Constituent Assembly. Conservative Hindus strongly opposed it. During British uh, rule, a common law for a crime called the Criminal Code was implemented in the country. But in most other aspects of social life, such as marriage, family, property, etc., each religion had its own law according to its beliefs and traditions. The large number of women and lower case people participated in the freedom movement also expected independent India to pass law to improve their social condition. The following are some important proposals. If the head of a family dies without leaving a will, then his wife and daughter will get an equal share of his property. Earlier, only son was given a share in the property. Marrying for a second time when the husband or wife is still alive is illegal. Men and women have equal rights to demand a divorce in special circumstances. It is legal to adopt a child of any state. Intercaste marriage are legally permissible. The Hindu Code Bill was a major poll issue in the 1952 election. Why should such a law be enacted only for Hindus and not for other religions? Dr. Ambedkar and Nehru argued that other religion did not have strong reform movement like Hinduism. Also, the Indian Muslims were already worried about their religious freedom after the partition. That is why the directive principle state that a common person law for the entire country will be passed. Okay, thank you, children. We will continue our remaining topics in our next class. Stay home, stay safe.